So I just booked a sunset cruise around the bay and I'm pretty excited about it. It should be fun. This is badass.
Ladies and gentlemen, off on our left, or port side, we have Alcatraz Island.
So the cool thing is when you go down to Fisherman's Wharf in the evening by the water, it's goddamn cold. I don't know why anyone's there, but there's like this whole Hispanic night market going on down there. It's kind of neat. I didn't buy anything except for, they call it a quesadilla, I call it a taco, but you know, it's cool. Yeah, because I haven't eaten since like 1, so hell yeah.
Plaza, diciembre 16. Hernán Trejo. Herencia de patrones. De Coahuila, Cali, mi pa. Puro HP. Y para los que hoy me miran, yo sigo para adelante. Sé que tiran, pero los dejo que ladren. Voy para arriba, pero sin dar de qué hablarle. Thank you guys, thank you for watching the show.
So today is my last full day in San Francisco, I'm sorry to say. The weather is not great. I'm not gonna complain because the weather's been amazing here the entire time I've been here. Obviously it was hot in Las Vegas, so I've had a lot of sunshine the last week and a half. It does take a little bit of the excitement out of some of the stuff I'm gonna do today because I'm walking everywhere that I'm going today, but it's fine, it's not that big of a deal. I'm from Washington, I can handle this. However, I have been on vacation for like 10 days. I am tired and my allergies are acting up a lot, so there's that. I might get one of these on here just because the novelty. This is like the chocolate river in Willy Wonka. I am at the Ghirardelli, where am I? The Ghirardelli Chocolate Manufactory and Soda Fountain. So how can you come here to the soda fountain and not get an ice cream? Which is funny because it's like my 4th ice cream on this vacation and I couldn't tell you the last time I ate ice cream before this trip. Anyway, I know they're famous for their chocolate, but I got the caramel sundae because I love caramel. Caramel, whatever. Anyway, I got it for here, so it's fancier than the plastic cup and more environmentally responsible. And I get to hang out in Ghirardelli Square for a little bit. So that's fun. You pay for getting it here. It's like $16. That's so much caramel. It's gonna be so good. Caramel is my jam. So good. I think this is salted caramel, which is not what I asked for. I'm kind of digging it. I don't usually like salted caramel, but I'm like, it's kind of working for me right now. This is like twice as much ice cream as anybody needs. I've only had like half of it and I'm done. But it's a fun experience. Behind me is the cheese school. I actually looked into classes there because I love cheese. They don't have any going while I'm here. Probably for the best. So I came across this flight of stairs that I was gonna climb just to go see what was up there. But then when you get to the top of the first flight, there's a door and it says private residences only. I'm like, can you imagine living at the top of Ghirardelli Square overlooking San Francisco Bay? That is badass. I am leaving Ghirardelli Square. And it was cool to get some ice cream from Ghirardelli and say that I was here, check it off the list. It was fun. It's a shopping plaza, essentially. Restaurants and some shops, not cheap shops. And, you know, fun things to do. A lot of the stuff that's in there is like chocolate shops for Ghirardelli, which makes sense. So I am gonna ride the very famous cable cars. It's gonna be fun, right? Only person to ever see this. I know that the San Francisco cable cars are like an institution. Way overrated. I hated every second of it. I have to take one back. So I'm only halfway through this. But this line is really long. So I'm on the ferry to Alcatraz and I sat on the second story, which is like open. Huge mistake. The water is super choppy and all of us up there like literally got soaked from like waves. Oh my gosh. My entire body, my clothes are soaked. And now I have to go hang out on this cold island. So awesome. Started here at Alcatraz, and my takeaway so far is do a guided tour. They have that thing that you can download, and I downloaded it, but it's a huge hassle. I wish I would have just come to an earlier tour so I could have done a guided tour. Unfortunately, there are areas that we're not allowed to go down. The signs say for your safety, but I don't know what's unsafe. They don't specify. All right. Area closed. Do not go beyond this point. Historic preservation in progress. Preserving the history of Alcatraz for present and future generations is a continuous process. It encompasses periodic building, maintenance, and even major construction work. During construction, these areas are temporarily closed to the general public until work is completed, and any unsafe conditions have been removed. I am currently at the Buena Vista Cafe, home of the world-famous Irish coffee. Apparently this is the place that started it all for Irish coffees in America. I have never had an Irish coffee before. It comes with whiskey. It is strong, but it's good, and the cream is on the top, and I like it. So it says, the Buena Vista Irish Coffee, as introduced at the Buena Vista Cafe by Stanton Delaplane in November of 1952, made with Tullamore DEW Irish whiskey, Peerless organic coffee, C&H sugar, and and heavy cream. Since the Irish coffee is kind of what they do, I felt like I kind of had to order it, right? It's like their staple, what they're known for. So the more I drink my Irish coffee, the less I like it. It's strong. So I ordered the Dungeness crab milk with a salad instead of fries on the side. This dressing is some sort of like lemon aioli. It is really good. I'm certain it's a sourdough bread, since that's all the rage down here. That's good. I can't finish the Irish coffee. It's just not for me. So I just had dinner at the Buena Vista Cafe. They are literally credited with bringing Irish coffee to America. I tried to drink the Irish coffee because I felt like I'm at the Buena Vista Cafe. It's what they're famous for. I need to get one. Not for me. Too strong. I felt like I was just like sipping whiskey, and I can't really sip whiskey. It's just not my jam. That's okay. The Buena Vista Cafe was not really on my radar before this morning when I was walking over to Ghirardelli Square, but then I happened to walk by and I was like, whoa, that looks interesting, and there's something on the side of the building. The something on the side of the building talks about the history of the cafe, which is kind of rad. That's what kind of sold me on giving it a go. So originally, the Buena Vista Cafe was up the road. It started in 1886, but then it became known as the Buena Vista Cafe in 1899. In 1907, the Buena Vista Cafe moved to this location here. I am sad to say that this is my last sleep here in San Francisco before going home tomorrow. It has been a great time. So today is my last San Francisco wake up. Sadly, I don't really want to leave. I feel a lot better today. I was really tired yesterday, but today I feel pretty good. So I kind of want to talk about cable cars a little bit. So I took a cable car yesterday. I just did a round trip. Mostly because I knew people were going to ask if I wanted one. I just wanted to be able to say yes, I did. And, you know, they're like a San Francisco institution, so I figured check that off the tourist bucket list. That being said, overrated. It was probably the only thing on my trip that I'm really like, I'm not impressed. I don't get it. So I think part of it was the weather though. It was sunny outside, but it was so cold and the wind chill was insane. Oh my God, it was awful. And I had to wait like 15 minutes to get on the first one. And all the kids around me were miserable because it was cold, and so there were all these crying kids and all these parents trying to calm their kids down, and it was just like, and I'm at the end of my trip, so I'm tired and I'm impatient, and I understand that. So, got on it. I will say, when you are leaving Fisherman's Wharf on the cable car and you're going up those hills, the view in the back is incredible because you can see the bay, and that is awesome. From a practicality standpoint, I do understand why people take them. It's basically like taking the bus. So it drops you off at a lot of like the major stops. Like you can get to Union Square, you can get to Chinatown, you can get several different places. So I understand, like there was a lady that got on and she was like, yeah, we're just going grocery shopping. So I get it. That is a cheap option to get around the city if you're going places that have cable car stops. And it's gonna cost you way less than a taxi or an Uber. So do keep that in mind, and I would look at the map just to see if you can save a few bucks that way. I'm not gonna do it again. I'll take the Uber because there's also wait time that goes with the cable car. So when I got to the other side, hopped off just to hop right back on, but my wait was so long because there's people that live here who are taking them, but then there's also obviously all the tourists like myself doing exactly what I was doing. So I waited there, God, at least half an hour, maybe longer, to get back on a cable car just standing there. And again, it was really cold. At least we weren't on the water at that point, so it wasn't nearly as cold or windy, but I just did not enjoy the experience at all. I feel bad saying that because I probably like would insult San Francisco natives or something, but that was a one-timer for me. So just getting one last lunch in here at Fisherman's Wharf before I head to the airport. Have me some fish and chips for my final Fisherman's Wharf lunch. They look really good. These little like crab shacks and fish and chip stands, killer. These places are packed in the evenings and packed at lunch. I just had my final lunch at Fisherman's Wharf here in San Francisco. My final lunch in San Francisco before going home. I had fish and chips at Sabella and La Torre. It was not my favorite meal of this trip. I felt like my fish was kind of just bland. I really had to like soak it in the malt vinegar. And then the tartar sauce they gave me was in packets. I love tartar sauce, and the little packets just taste like mayonnaise. I want like tartar sauce. So it's only okay, but from a customer service standpoint, I do have positive things to say. Group of guys working there, they were all very friendly and helpful and patient because I showed up not really knowing what I wanted. I thought about getting the lobster roll. I wanted to eat at the crab shack next to them because the crab shack next to them is supposed to be incredible, but they're not open yet and I don't have time to wait. This is my last thing I'm gonna film before I go to the airport. So I want to talk about Alcatraz. I went to Alcatraz yesterday. I need to go again. I did not do Alcatraz justice, and I know that. I only stayed like an hour and a half, and I know that there's just like a ton to learn there, and I know that I didn't learn everything that I should learn. And they have the little thing that you can download on your app, but it was such a hassle, and I didn't have good service over there. I don't know if it was me or if everyone's like that. Anyway, I just like kept loading and loading and loading. Anyway, it was a whole thing. Yesterday was not a great day for me in general, and I don't like that that's kind of like my last day on vacation, but it's okay. The rest of the vacation was amazing. And today is pretty good, and the sun is back, and the wind's not, so that's great. And then, also I was soaked from the waves and the sprays coming up over the boat, but it's fine. I powered through that. My clothes actually dried pretty quickly. My hair was a wreck after that, though. Anyway, there's so much history there, and I love history, and I just feel like I did not get my experience that I should have had because Alcatraz is right up my alley. So my next trip back, I'm gonna check the weather. I'm gonna try to go on a warmer day, and I'm gonna try to like really make it count and really absorb what I went there to enjoy. So transportation to and from the airport is not cheap. It was like $50 each way. I took a cab from the airport into Fisherman's Wharf. I did that way just because there was already a cab waiting outside, so the convenience factor. And then I took an Uber from Fisherman's Wharf back to the airport. It was like the same cost. Usually Uber's actually quite a bit cheaper, but this was not the case this time. I looked into renting a car. However, then I did a lot of research and people are like, it's actually a very walkable city. And then there is the cable cars if you really want like cheap transportation in certain places. And then for me, I don't know, an Uber is just easier. The cost of renting a car plus the cost of parking is astronomical. So I was gonna spend so much every day when half the places I wanted to go I could walk to. Security. And then the other half, I could just take the Uber. So I ended up taking lots of Ubers, spent a lot of money on Ubers, but it's fine. Got where I needed to be.